In terms of working with others, one of the most important things and what really draws out the successful graduates and apprentices is all about their network. So get involved. Does your company have networks? Can you put your hand up to support on projects? Always say that you can help. Find out, what is the biggest thing that's happening so you can get involved. And then what you're doing is you're building your brand and you're putting your name out there. And then if you want to help, people want to help you. So I would say that's the thing that stands those that are successful compared to those aren't, is all about networks.
I feel like gauging what type of person someone is very big from an early start. Like from the off, it's good to get to know someone, just so you can interact with them how you feel they'd like to be interacted with, because you don't want to accidentally offend someone or just do anything they wouldn't like. Confidence is a big thing as well. Being able to just go up to someone and just speak to anyone definitely really helps, especially with networking, which is massive in the BMW group. Anyone can talk to anyone as long as they've got the confidence to do so.
I think growing a big network is just a big part of our jobs on a daily basis. 100%. I mean, I work with loads of different people in my role. It's kind of cross-collaborative between different departments and different buildings, and you've got to go through 1,000,001 people to get things done, and that's just a line of work. But I think it's just having that confidence and kind of that ability to have that kind of social interaction with them, make it not just a professional but an enjoyable relationship to have with someone.
You can learn a lot from them, which is handy because they've been in the industry for years and you're just starting out. So if you've got any questions, they know an answer. And if they don't know the answer, they know someone that does. So it's definitely handy working with people that are older and have been in the business.
There's so much success that can come out of working collaboratively as a team because you're bringing together diversity of thought. I think where you're working with intergenerational teams as well, the difference in opinions and knowledge that's coming together can really accelerate a team working together and the success of the business.
In school, I was never very open. I was quite an enclosed person, like introvert. I was very I'd stay at home instead of going out. It wasn't that I didn't have friends, but I would prefer to stay in and play a game or something instead of going out to the park and stuff like that. So the way that it transitioned going into a workplace is you're going to converse with people who have different backgrounds, different lifestyles from different areas of the world. And it's brilliant to see that because when you start to talk to them, you see how different people are around you, but you walk past them every day, and you work with them. And working with some people who have a lot more experience in this genre or this area and this area, and you want to learn it all, it can be daunting, but it's very exciting at the same time. You can take a lot of information in, but it's about the process and taking your time, being friendly with people, and really just conversing with others.
I would say probably the biggest thing for me, working with different age groups and more diverse group of people than what I was used to. I come from outside of London, so I think London is probably one of the most diverse places globally. Different cultures, nationalities, whatever that might be, and that definitely wasn't something that I was used to in my home life and my school life. So that was definitely something that we adapted to, and it was respecting people's beliefs, cultures, and ways of life, both from colleagues but also from clients as well. And I really don't believe in Harrods. It's such a diverse working place, which is great. I really don't believe unless you can understand that and work with that you'll succeed in that workplace. It is such a diverse place, so many different great ideas and different cultures and whatnot, and yeah, it's a great place to work in that essence, but something that 8 years ago, coming from a small town an hour and a half outside of London, definitely wasn't something that I was used to.
In any organisation that you work in, right, you're going to have to meet different people of, like, say, ages and different backgrounds. So understanding that, everyone's got their own unique perspective, being really open-minded as well when people are bringing different ideas to the table is so important. And I think that doesn't just go for people who are in their early stage of their career, but for everyone else who's supporting them as well. So for their managers, for their peers, etc., it's really important to be understanding of everyone's different life experiences and unique ideas as well. It's what makes organisations diverse and inclusive and really fun to work in. So yeah, I think one thing to be maybe aware of or to try to do is ask questions and be curious as well, because you just don't know what someone's perspective is going to bring to the work that you're doing, or, you know, to help you learn something along the way as well that you didn't expect to learn.
I think when you come into a particular area of employment, especially as a younger person, I think it can be quite intimidating, you know, to be surrounded, okay, again, whether it's law, medicine, trade, industry, whatever it might be, everyone around you is going to seem like they're going to know more than you. I think it's important to remind yourself that you have a lot to bring to the table, and just because you don't have necessarily experience, you can kind of offer just as much, maybe from a different perspective. But I think the biggest challenge when coming into that, it might be cultural difference, it might be generational differences, and I think always come from a place of empathy. You know, I think about that when I think about relationships with some of my older colleagues, and they might have particular views on gender or politics, and the immediate reaction is to want to judge. And it's really important to kind of take a deep breath and think, okay, why is that person thinking the way that they are? Because once you get into employment, you're no longer surrounded by that echo chamber of the generational thing of, you know, a bunch of teachers around you. It's people from all different ages and backgrounds, and I think empathy and understanding is a really good place to start.
For me, I'm quite a approachable person. Like, I always try and have a smile on my face. I can always speak to people, and it's just reaching out to them as well. It might be quite daunting reaching out to a team. I came into a team of around 12 to 15 people, all from very, very different backgrounds. So it's just about coming in, telling them about who you are, showing them as well that you can be trusted by them. You know, they can put their faith in you to help them when they need. You then may need help, etc. from them. So it's just about reaching out to them, really.
Going into the engineering department at Harrods, and just Harrods in general, there's a lot of different age groups amongst the business. I came in as an apprentice, but even then I was a bit of an old apprentice, that being 20. But you go into the engineering department and there's people that have worked there for 40 years, you know, and they come from a completely different generation, completely different background to you. And I think it's really cool because you learn so much from the people that have been there for so long, and they teach you so much. And it's also about making them bonds with, you might think, oh, I don't need to kind of be close with someone who's 40, 50 years old. But it really does matter when you're working in such a big and established business to learn so much from them, because they know, they've only ever known Harrods, you know, and so they know how to do it properly. And it's cool, you know, you can end up being friends with someone who's 60 years old that you never thought you'd be friends with in the first place.
So I was really lucky when I started at work, and I made some friends who were much nearer to retirement age than I was. But I'd consider them my work mums. So they kind of really looked after me in the workplace, guided me as to, you know, what was a good opportunity to take up, maybe what to steer clear of. And even though they're retired now, I still keep in contact with them. So that's been a really nice experience for me to have in the workplace. But we have seen with our apprentices, where they're a lot younger than the people at work, sometimes they feel that they don't need to just do what they've been asked to do or stay until a job's done. And there's some generational differences that we're actually trying to help our apprentices navigate. They sometimes feel like the older generation were, they called it mugged off, because they just stayed till a job was done. Actually, we're trying to help them see that, you know, maybe you're not going to get paid for every minute that you need to kind of be there for your career. So it's very interesting working with the different generations and helping them to see the good and learn from each other.
Adaptability is so key when working with a team. You have to be able to understand where someone is coming from. As a lawyer, obviously, a lot of us are quite headstrong. You are very much trying to push a point. So it's really important to be understanding and to be able to kind of see where someone is coming from, be able to say, you know what, your idea is better than mine, let's go with that. Because it doesn't show weakness, it shows that you're understanding and showing that you're able to accept that someone might have a better idea, that a strategy might work better than yours, and that's completely fine, it's completely valid. The whole point is to work together as a team to get the best out of it, right? And communication is so key. If you don't understand each other, especially intergenerational work, it's not going to work out. And the whole point is to deliver for the client. This is why we're working. We're working with the client to kind of deliver as much as we possibly can. So communicating and saying, this is what I think, this is why I think it, and maybe you might agree, maybe they will. the whole point is to be able to deliver for the client and show that we're working with them. God, being authentic as well, like you said before, it's so important. Like at Shoosmiths, we really do kind of value bringing your authentic self to work, because if you're not supported, right, then you're not being your true self. You need to be your true self to then be supported and then work your best. So it's really important to be able to kind of show that in a workspace. And although we have to be professional, it is completely okay to be yourself at work. I think a lot of law firms especially, they always say you need to put on a persona and pretend to be this person that you're not. And you can only keep up for so long. It won't work in a team if you're not being able to show your true colours and say, this is what I think and these are my opinions. Because at the end of the day, it's a team effort. You need to show your own opinions and show why you think that. And you can't do it if you're not being your true self.